Hello everybody, today we are going to work very important topic. Most of the MCQs are coming from this topic, and I've seen a lot of tests, a lot of interviews cover this topic. Okay, so this topic is OSI, the Open System Interconnection Layer. What is it, how it works, what are the benefits, and what are the advantages of this OSI layer. We will discuss it in very detailed. The first thing that how an idea of OSI layer come in the mind of the engineer, how the idea pop up. If you read this, you will understand a little bit. I give you a few seconds. You better you read it, and then we will talk about it. Okay. The open system interconnection, the layer approach is why it come in between the computer world, how this layer is developed, why we need it. This is a very interesting story. uh, for example, if I am a user from a Mac and you're a user using Windows 7, Windows 8, and that time it was not allowed for the Mac to communicate with Windows 7. So if you have a company, you have either you have to either use the whole network that contain Microsoft devices, or you're gonna go for the Linux, or you're gonna go for another operating system kind of stuff. So the Mac user not gonna go the one with the communicate with the Windows. So for this reason, the gap is created, and to come over this gap, OSI played a very vital role. Uh, yep. So I have to move to the next slide. So hope you understand what I mean. The user from the one vendor cannot communicate with the user of the another vendor. Yeah, that is the whole theme of the OSI layer. And I had explained it very simply, very simply. I had tried it very simply. What are the advantages? Two questions I had told you already on the page, that where two questions can be arise on any topic. There is what and what are the advantages. For example, what is OSI layer? What are the advantages of the OSI layer? Then you will understand, and your interest will be increased. Okay, so OSI layer made it possible for Microsoft user to communicate with a Linux user and Mac user to communicate with a Linux user. I break down the communication, yep, into different layers, and now it's easy for the developer to make any change without affecting other layer. From the second sentence, I mean that if there is any standard that gonna go change or update or anything, that will be occur on the layer 3, so it's not gonna go to affect any of the activity in the data link layer, that is layer 2, or transport layer, that is layer 4. The only effect will be caused at layer 3. And the communication process is broken down into the seven steps. So if you're gonna go to change any step, the other 6 will not get affected. It'll make it easier to troubleshoot the communication process. If you see that my IP is not working, you're not gonna go to check for the layer 1, layer 2, or layer 6, 7, blah blah. You're gonna directly jump to the layer 3, and you troubleshoot it, and you check for your DNS IP, you check for your local IP and gateway. So it is very easy to troubleshoot your network. I'm trying to speak very simple and slower so that you people can understand it clearly. For very simplicity, I'm going to divide these 7 layers into 2 groups. Um, even it was very difficult for me when I was student to remember these 7 names, but now I am going to divide it into 2 groups, so it will be easy for you to remember it. We break it into the upper layers and lower layers. Well, the upper layers contain application layer, session layer, and presentation layer. And the upper layer determine how a device communicates with a station. For example, if you want to send a PDF file, the session layer is for to create a session, and the format is decided by the presentation, and the application layer is providing you the interface. If you don't have the PDF viewer, then you can't have the interface. You don't. So the application layer think and see if there is enough resources of communication and availability to provide you the interface. So the upper layer come into rule when we receive a data, then these 3 layers start functioning. And what about the application layer? If I jump to the application layer first, the main function of the OSI Layer 7 is to provide you the interface. If you ask me, sir, why you not gonna take a start from layer 1, I will simply answer you that when I try to communicate, I take a start from layer 7, and also my communication end at layer 7. So I take a start from a start, and then I will come to the bottom, and then I will go to the top again. Okay. The main function of the OSI Layer is to provide you an interface. For example, if you are going to search some videos on the internet, for example, you are going to open YouTube. So if you don't have that enough plugins to play such videos, maybe when you install a new window, that window don't have that browser don't have enough plugins. So before it was a great trouble. Now mostly it is covered up by automatically installing the plugins. When you install a new operating system, that time there is not having enough plugins in your computer, the browser. At that time, the communication uh, softwares are not, you might say, softwares are not enough to communicate. Application layer uh, is going to satisfy if there is enough resources between sender and receiver to communicate. For example, who is sender and who is receiver? In such case, I am client and I am going to access the YouTube server. In this case, if I have enough resources to view that video, then I will be able to view. An application layer is determining if I don't have the resources, then application layer is going to tell me, please install plugin, please do this, please do that. That is the main function. So this is called layer 7 OSI of the OSI model. It shows the minimum requirements that are necessary for communication. Yep, I said everything. And basically the application layer is acting as an interface between the application and layer 6, that is presentation layer. So there is the application layer is the platform between the application and layer 6. For example, if a video come into MP4 format. If my MP4 is working, then the application layer will provide the data to my MP4 player. There might be in plugins, and then the video will be played. So the in between the software and the layer 6 application layer works. For example, if I have a file transfer system that is FTP protocol and emails and remote access server RDP, remote desktop services, then for that reason we will use application layer. Or we have another example, that is telnet. If you're gonna go to access a device virtually, for example, you are going to access your server from your office, and you are setting in your home or in your server room somewhere. We mostly don't use cables all the time. We just configure it with the management IP, and then we access the router or the switch from our office or server room, set in their network and access it easily. Application layer protocols, some very important protocols that are used at the application layer are listed here. If mostly in the interviews or the test, these questions are covered, so that's why I took the slides. The telnet application to access your router or switch virtually, and file transfer protocol, SMTP simple message transfer protocol, DNS, domain name system, and SNMP that is used for network monitoring. What is going on in your network? All the logs and ingoing, outgoing packets are monitored. TCP/IP, you are very familiar with that, and HTTP and LDAP protocol. LDAP protocol is like direct access protocol used by the client to communicate with the server. NTP, most of the time when you connect to the internet, in case of Android device, if I say, when you connect to the Wi-Fi and you connect your mobile to your Wi-Fi, and at that time you will see that your time set automatically. That is because your phone is synchronized with the NTP server on the internet. And a lot of more, there is SSH, TP, REP, these protocols are used on the application layer. If I go to this next slide, that is presentation layer. What is the job of presentation layer? For example, if you are working at the store and I ask you to give me something when the client asks for example, if client asks for perfume, I will ask you to give me a perfume. When you give me perfume, I'm application layer, and I ask you to give me MP4 format file. You will provide the MP4 format file. If I ask for PDF, you will give me PDF file. So the presentation layer purpose is to present the data in a very readable format to the application layer, and application layer further provided to the user in a readable format. Okay, presentation layer deal with the format that is .pdf, .text, mp3, mp4, .zip, blah blah blah. It also deals with the data translation from old EBCDIC format to ASCII format, encryption, decryption, compression, decomposition, translation are done at this layer. If the data is compressed, when it reaches to the destination at the presentation layer, that data will be decompressed at the presentation layer. If the data is encrypted by using different algorithm, then the data at the presentation layer will be key encrypted. if I come to the fifth layer, there is the session layer. Session layer deal with the dialog control. A session is established. Believe me, if I tell you a very funny thing, you will not believe me. I think the dialog control, the word dialog control. When I was student, I saw the dialog control. I searched it on the internet. What is dialog control? What is that? I asked from the teachers, but their answer didn't satisfy me. Then I looked for the books, and finally I got the answer at the Google somewhere, I think. So I mean to tell you that I learned these things by working hard and sacrifice my time, energy, everything. So I suggest you people to please study a lot, read it again and again, and then you will learn it. The very better thing about ccna is that if you learn the whole ccna and you close the book for the one month, and when you come back again, you will feel that you don't know anything at all. So that's why I ask you to study more and more in every day. uh, Better you learn something every day, revise something every day. So deal with the dialog control. A session is established, maintained, and will be terminated. That's all session responsibility, and this is the dialog control. For example, I'm going to call you. Okay, I dial your number. When I press the call, the session is established, and now I'm going to talk you for the next 5 minutes. In that 5 minutes, that session must not be broken up. That is also the responsibility of the session layer. And when our conversation is over, the termination is also related to the presentation session layer. So I hope you understand that. That is dialog control. One other important function of the OSI is to keep every session data separate. Yeah, this is very important example. For example, if you are working on your computer, you are going to fill online form, and in the second tab you are playing a music, and the third tab you are downloading something else. So there are a lot of sessions. uh, there is For example, in this example, we got three sessions. The session IDs are assigned, and the data is kept separate from each other of these three sessions and delivered to the desired uh, process. For example, you're watching YouTube video, so the packets that are related to the YouTube video will be delivered to that process only. Communication, these for example, these three simplex hub, duplex and full duplex, this simple three easy small topics will be covered within each in every session, and between the topics, like previously we covered what we seen is these little slides. So these small topics will be covered in between, that will strengthen your basic for the interviews, and also will increase your knowledge. So the communication between the server and client can be carried out into three different modes. So these three are the modes of the communication. One is simplex, and the other is half duplex, and the other is full duplex. Simplex is very common. Is a kind of communication, a message that is broadcast and reply is not supposed to be received back. We are not expecting any reply. For example, a very simple example is radio. When you tune a radio station, you just hear it and you can't do anything about it. The TV, yep. So such kind of communication are simplex. Sometime we hear announcement from mosques, from churches, or from mandirs. Uh, we can't replay it back. We just heard it and will do what they are asking us to do. The second one is half duplex. Half duplex is communication in which before the whole communication was based on a half duplex. First, I am talking, and then you have to wait. And when my conversation, when I'm going to talk, when that is over, then it's your turn to talk. For example, at walkie-talkie, you had heard many times the police and the army, when they press and hold the button and say, please, we need some aid. There are some people there interrupting. Oh, and the last they say over. When they on the other side, when they heard it and they hear over, that means they are now it's your turn to talk. And they say, okay, we are coming. Wait a little bit. Over. So such kind of communication are half duplex. Um, this is one-way communication. If one person is communicating and the medium will be busy at that time, so the other user cannot communicate. If he communicate, then the data in between the medium will collide and will be lost. Okay, take a simple example. One guy press button and hold it, record a message and send to his friend. His friend wait till the message is received. Same in the case of police, what I said earlier, and record the message, send it back. Like police network, like army network. Yep, walkie-talkie type of network. Uh, if I move forward, there is full duplex. Such kind of communication nowadays. If I'm talking you on a phone, you mostly mostly two people when communicating on a phone, they both of them are laughing at the both side, and we can hear it easily. At the time, both sending and receiving mm, are performed. If I give you another example here, and the switch sending and receiving have the separate parts. If you remember the lecture of the switch, in the hub there was only one way. Either you have to communicate, or if the medium is busy, then you have to wait till the medium gets free. But in the full duplex, you can communicate and you can receive. It's not a big deal. So both sending and receiving had a separate port for it. If you have any question, any trouble, please ask me. And these OSI layer, the top layers, they are very important, mostly covered in the interview. Better you watch it again and again and ask me a question. I will be here all the time to answer your question. Thank you.